Canada has imported up to 1.2 million people in 2022 alone, and this immigration influx, this aggressive immigration influx, definitely has benefited Canada from the labor shortage perspective. But on the other side, it has imposed a lot of challenges on us with regards to social and economic side of things. We will look into this report published by TD Economist, and according to that, they are saying that we imported up to 1.2 million people in the last 12 months, and that high growth immigration policy still continuing this year as well. And if we continue on that journey, the housing shortfall that we have is going to get worse, and it's going to go up to 500 units by 2025. So that's the impact this aggressive immigration policy is having on our housing side of things. And also they're predicting that if we continue on this high growth immigration policy, the interest rate, the neutral interest rate that is supposed to be 5% right now, based upon the previous immigration numbers, if we adjust that using this aggressive immigration policy, that neutral interest rate has to go up at least 50 basis points. That's what TD economists are predicting. And if we break it down, this whole 1.2 billion people, out of that, 60% fall into NPR category. What is NPR? Non-permanent residents. They consist of refugees, work permit holders, and students. Now, if you ask me from an immigration lens, refugees coming from a war-torn country, they are not likely to go back into that situation again. So they are definitely most likely going to stay in this country. Okay. Now talk about the work permit holders. These individuals are sponsored. They are sponsored by the employers in this country to bring them here and find them a guaranteed work. That's how the work permit process works. Now let's talk about the students. The students are mostly coming from India, Pakistan, and all of those countries where they are basically highly qualified graduates, but they are actually investing their hard-earned money in their local currency, converting them into Canadian dollar to get a university degree from Canada. So they would definitely want to stay here and get as much as they can in terms of the return on that investment. So most likely majority of them will not go back and stay here. And I know that you guys will tell me a lot of immigrants are leaving at the same time. Yes and no. The people who are leaving are actually going through the process and becoming Canadian citizen, and then taking the Canadian passport, then they are leaving this country. A lot of people I know who are high net worth individuals who have, a better qualified experience in engineering or doctors, they are going through the process, becoming Canadian citizens, getting Canadian passport, then they're moving down south, because that's the way they have to go through and then get a better job in the US, better affordable house, better weather, pretty much everything is much better, pay less taxes, and those are the people who are leaving Canada. Yes, but the people I'm pointing towards are the new immigrants who are landing there. They have to go through the process of becoming Canadian national before they leave this country. Further, we read into that when we look into the social side of things, according to OECD, Canada ranks at the bottom when it comes to acute hospital care beds. Okay, this study was done in 2019, and back then Canada ranks at the bottom, 31st amongst 34 countries. Now that could have been worse easily after importing 1.2 million people. So this is the impact we are having on the infrastructure like healthcare and housing because of this highly aggressive immigration policy. Now, if we further look into that, the benefits side of things, of course, we gain a lot of skill set that is helping us to fill the shortage in the labor market using this immigration. That's definitely hands-on is the benefit of this immigration. But at the same time, it is actually creating the imbalance between the benefits and the losses or the impacts on the system. No doubt about that. This immigration has helped us to kind of also lower the wage inflation. If this immigration was not there, the wage inflation must have been higher than above their current levels, which would have pushed Bank of Canada to further increase rates in order to tame inflation. Even though this is something very theoretical, the Phillips curve, between inflation and the unemployment relationship, I don't necessarily agree with that now, but that's how the central bankers are actually looking into it. So at the same time, we look at the GDP numbers. GDP is all about consumer spending. At an aggregate level, how much dollars we as a Canadian are spending in this country. That's how the GDP is measured upon. The real way to measure GDP is actually per capita basis, and that has been stagnant for at least 2 decades, according to OECD. This is where actually we stand. And if you look at the housing is getting crushed right now because of this high immigration inflow, because we don't have enough housing available to house those people. And if you look at the overall construction pace, that is also slowing down because of high interest rate. When you increase interest rate, the economic sense of running those projects doesn't make any sense. A lot of housing projects are being cancelled because if we run the number on the spreadsheet, it doesn't really make any sense for those builders to continue with the project because they might be losing money at the end of the day. So all of these changes in the country in terms of immigration and interest rate and its impact on the housing and overall social economics impact, this is creating a very difficult situation for all of us in Canada. In conclusion, Canada is built on immigration. Definitely we need immigration to sustain our economic growth because our aging population is going to have much more a liability upon us because Canada has up to $4 trillion in unfunded liabilities. That includes Social Security, healthcare, and pension plan. This is not funded, to be honest, at this stage. So this needs to be pumped by the influx of immigration. That's the reality. We need immigration to sustain that. But there has to be a balanced approach. We cannot just open the floodgates and let people come in and basically destroy the entire ecosystem of it. So we need to actually have a balanced approach in a way that, yes, we need immigration to kind of help us from the skill shortage and also funding our liabilities, but at the same time we should have infrastructure being built up as well at the same time at a rapid pace with regards to housing and healthcare and social programs, as well as the overall infrastructure of the country. So I hope that the representative of the government are going to take this as a message and revise their policies in order to keep a balanced approach going forward so that we all can benefit from it. Thank you very much. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.